99.3 CX 106.5 FM, Courier Communications, Milwaukee, but are the sole comments of the host and guest of this particular show.
Say something real.
Good morning. Good morning. What's happening? Hey, fam. Ooh, you sounding like new money. You know, your mom put Vaseline all on your face. You be like, Mom.
You're going to school?
Like, look, I ain't take my hair down from when I was sleeping last
Shiny shoe shine.
Good morning. Good morning. What's happening, family? Welcome to the show. It is Michelle Bryant here at WNOV 860 AM 106.5 FM. You are listening to Say Something Real. It's going to be some real conversation today. Oh, my goodness.
It always tends to get real with you.
It really does it.
Hang up.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, we going to revisit that?
Yeah.
Hang up.
No, that's way too nice. It was not anything like that.
We gonna just rehash old stuff. Y'all talking about old stuff?
I mean, it's
it's old stuff.
Okay, it's been 24 hours.
Let me say good morning to the instigators in the studio. What's up, Mr. DeVoe? How are you this morning, sir?
Hey, up that damn phone. Sound like somebody grandmama up in there yesterday.
That was so funny.
He didn't do it fast enough.
Yeah, man. Because it just caught me off guard. She was like, hang up. And then after that third one.
That third one was the grandma one.
That third one sounded like.
I said hang up.
No, because when I looked at her, her lips was like.
Yeah, Jermaine said she balled up her lips.
She balled up her lips and pointed that finger and told me to hang up. I almost ran up out of here like I was in trouble.
I can't believe how petty y'all are.
Everything's
that's how y'all gonna
morning.
start the day.
Yeah.
Can't stand, bro.
Well, that's the way you ended it with the hang up.
Did I? Okay.
On yesterday.
I don't really recall, but if y'all, that's what y'all say happened.
But everything's good, man. Had a great evening. Stayed at home, watched a little football, and just relaxed.
Man, that'll be good. Well, you just can be at the house for a minute.
Yeah.
Like you ain't gotta be nowhere. Ain't nobody calling you. You can just sit down. Oh my God.
It was something in regards to the NFL that I wanted to mention to you. Because I wasn't certain if you were watching. What was it? I can't recall. I'm gonna think about
if I was watching.
I know you weren't watching.
Okay, I'm just saying.
But I'm.
I wasn't.
Oh, what was it? I thought I remembered it. Oh, the amount of Black folk music they're using.
Oh.
They did a commercial. That's exactly what it was. There was a commercial that ran last night where the NFL players are huddled around these kids and they say, I may not be tall, but I am somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And they went through the whole Jesse Jackson.
Still in Jesse Jackson stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it. You know, I'm sick of these people because I'll weave that into the show. So let me make a note. NFL, Black music,
Devo know exactly what he was
commercial, and we're gonna see if we can find the commercial so we can play.
Yeah,
because I am somebody.
Yeah, I seen it.
Let me say, hey Clark in the back, what's up, bruh? Who you with?
With you, fool.
And trouble don't last always. How you doing this morning, Jermaine Rideout?
Oh, it always lasts with him.
Well, you over there on fire, you. So I just want to tell you that the light is shining on you on this morning. Hey, man, we bring you greetings from Watch Me Over and Over Again, Church of the Firstborn, even the second and third born. You can be the fourth and fifth born. You still welcome. Amen. And I want to let you know that the church doors are open. And Michelle,
hey,
the lights are shining.
I'm with it.
On you.
Yeah, all over my forehead. I'm with it. That used to be a good show.
Did you really go there?
That used to be a good show. Mr. Rideout.
What was that? Amen?
Yeah, shine
Amen.
on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sherman Hensley.
I felt it in my spirit on this morning when she said that she was shining, and all of a sudden, I felt real prophetic there to let you know that.
Did he speak to you?
Yeah, to let you know that if you put something wet on, you will shine. If you put Vaseline,
oh yeah, you
will shine. You put baby oil. You will shine.
Don't bring up no baby herb.
Even if you put some Crisco grease, you will shine. Amen.
Lord was yours back in the day.
My message this morning.
I grew up with Royal Crown.
Lord, wait, what?
Royal Crown.
Some lard. Put some lard on.
What is Royal Harry's?
Yeah, Royal Crown.
Yeah, that red can.
Yeah, red can.
Oh
with
yeah, I had
the
to think about
metal
it.
top that will cut the hell out of you if you don't handle it right.
That tin top.
Yeah, that tin top.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you went back on that one.
So that's my message on this morning.
All right, well, good.
To allow
no offering, but good.
The good sunlight to shine.
No offering, sir.
On you. Nah, I didn't get there yet.
No, we're done. No offering.
I just said I didn't get there.
We're done.
But it's coming.
Benediction has been given.
Oh, now on your way out,
the
leave an offering.
The church has closed.
Leave an offering on your way out. Amen.
Right
I don't know. I just felt like doing that. I feel like that's what preachers do. They I just felt that. On your way out, leave
emphasize the moment.
Leave a love offering. Amen. Ushers, we got 3 exits. Make sure you stand there with the buckets. God bless you.
Well, you got to do your boy there. Lock them doors.
No, she said it's over, so they already got up to walk out, so I just need the ushers to grab buckets. Stand by them doors. God bless you. Mother Taylor, over by the door. God bless you. Mother Harris, you two over there. Debo, God bless you. Get the middle. God bless you. I don't know why I'm doing this. It just felt like my hands
Nobody knows why you're doing it.
Need to move on that part. I don't know.
Oh my God.
And there's a preacher somewhere who's watching who's offended.
Hey, a hit dog a holler.
Yes,
I don't know
will.
why my hands move like that when I got to talking.
Look, let me do it. Take a second to do this. Yesterday, when I left the station, well, it was crazy because I had an interview that I did over on VON in Chicago. So I stayed at the station to do the interview. And dang, my glasses is dirty. And then I'm doing that. It's not working. I got to go clean them in the bathroom. And then I stayed back to listen to Keith's interview with, is it Michael Schultz? I know Schultz is the last name. Michael Schultz. The brother who did Car Wash and Hooley High and Blast Dragon and so many other projects that we have come to, know and love. So I hung around for that because I really wanted to hear that interview. So I watched it on the monitor out in the lobby. And then finally I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. And as I leave, about to walk up to my truck, I encounter a young girl who said she's 16 years old. She was disheveled and her clothes were dirty and she had tears in her eyes and she said, I need help. Long story short, this young baby was homeless. Her mother had been evicted from her housing several months prior. She has not been in school since school started back. And she had been couch surfing. And the most recent place that she was at had gotten into it with one of the people in the house. And she ran in the middle of the early morning hours for her safety and ended up sleeping in a garage until daylight broke. And then she started wandering and trying to find help. And she had initially asked her brother, who was actually coming into the station to do the show with Wisconsin Voices. And because of just how things are, he was kind of directing her towards me, just felt more comfortable with a woman interacting with her. Ultimately, we ended up contacting the Milwaukee Police Department and I talked to her. We tried to call people. She only had 2 numbers. Both of those numbers were disconnected. And so we, contacted the Milwaukee Police. I shared with her that, they will take you. You will ride in a squad car. You're not being arrested. They will get you to a protective situation. Milwaukee Police ended up showing up. The officer that I interacted with was extremely kind, and they got her seated in the back seat. They handled her with the kind of care that I would want for a child who had just slept in a garage, who has not been in housing for the last several months, who had not eaten. I make fun of Mary Ellen, the station manager, Gerald Jones's daughter, that our lobby looks like a corner store because you got water, you got soda, you got chips, you got candy. It's everything you want in that lobby. And this baby, we were come in, have a seat while we get you situated. So as the police, drove away with this baby, the thing that I always talk about, the luck of the draw, about life, who your parents are, what your socioeconomic situation is. And she just looked so tired, y'all. She was just like, I just want to sit down. For those kids that are at home, you're on your way to school this morning and, your parents are whether it's a 1-parent home, 2-parent home, you live with your grandparents, but you live somewhere with somebody that they care about you. And they on you about your room and school and grades and doing the best you can and staying out of trouble and staying away from them people. I'm going to tell y'all, it's kids that wish they had that situation to be in. That a bed to sleep in at night, clothes in a closet, to be able to kind of, ramble through and what I want to wear, different selection of shoes to put on in the morning, all those things that we take for granted. for the parents that are doing the best they can, the family members, to make sure that these children have what they need. I am so grateful for y'all this morning. I could not imagine what it felt like to have to find. She walked until she found an open garage, and she slept in that garage until day broke. To the police officers who saw what the need was and responded in kind with a degree of compassion, I'm grateful for y'all. I'm grateful for everybody that takes a second to see other people and not be afraid and be willing to listen to their situation. And if they can figure out a way to help or give them something to tide them over until other help can come. Everybody in this community that does the work to help people that's going through hard times, I am grateful for y'all. So, babies that's on your way to school, man, make the most of these opportunities. And I also want to say to the kids that don't have good situations, if you know kids that don't have good situations, they're your friends, they're children that you interact with, remind those children. There are tons of people who are living amazingly well now, who came from really bad situations. Viola Davis talks about how the rats used to eat the face off her dolls, and that she went to school with clothes that was soaked in urine because they didn't have money to go wash, and she had a bedwetting problem. Oprah Winfrey talks about being poor and impoverished and not having enough. It's so many people. Tyler Perry was homeless for a period of time. And, people can knock him, about putting on a dress, but putting on that dress made him able to employ other Black people and create jobs for people and get him off the streets. Your situation that you are in today does not have to dictate what the rest of your life is. You just have to keep fighting. You just have to keep trying. You just have to keep asking for help. And eventually somebody will put you on the right path. But to this community that shows up all the time in so many ways, known and unknown, I just need to say this morning, I'm grateful. All right. With that, it's a number of other things. Debo? Oh, okay. Yes.
As I fight back the tears. To imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I watch you as you move and how you help people, and it's amazing. Barbara Smith says, "Thank you for lingering around yesterday to be able to be that ram in the bush for that baby." And so many times you're that. I just love being able to give you your accolades. Thank you for what it is that you do. You don't do it for show or for glamour or for fame. It's in your heart. So thank you.
And to Barbara, it like I said, things, everybody know I'm not always the most religious person in the world. I struggle with aspects of religion, but I am a spiritual person. I do believe in faith. I do believe in a higher being. And, I'm just sitting here because I wasn't supposed to be here.
Yeah.
I was not supposed to be here. And, but different things lined up and I ended up being here. And so, like I said, and I know I'm surrounded by people at the station. Nobody trips when, the baby got to come in. Everybody looks out for her while I'm sitting outside waiting on the police to come myself at different periods of time. And so, again, I'm not kidding when I say I'm grateful to everybody in our community that shows up in ways seen and unseen. I just have a microphone. I'm able to talk about the things that I see, but I bring them up because I just want people to understand when we walking past people in the street, when we making an assessment about to help or not to help, to give $1 or not to give $1, you got. You know you got some change in your thing. I'm just saying, sometimes y'all, it's the difference. That girl hadn't ate in a few days. It's the difference. So that's all. That's the reason why I bring it up. It's just to remind us to see people. That's it. Jay.
No, I was just
And thank you, Debo. I appreciate those comments.
just listening to you and then listening to what Debo said because I was listening and I was just over here thinking, to me having a daughter, I can't imagine her being out here trying to figure out where I'm gonna sleep, like where my next meal, and just the whole safety of her being a female and being out in the world of wolves, especially at nighttime,
Right.
trying to find somewhere to sleep. And when you're in a situation like that, um, everything is up for grabs. So like somebody could have rolled past her and offered her, hey, well, you can come sleep in my house, and did something to her, messed her up even more. Um, so I was just thinking about that, and then just how we see people and we just judge them when we look at them like, oh, they on drugs or they doing whatever. I don't want to deal with them. But you don't know that person's situation. You don't know how they got there. First off, but you don't know what they're dealing with in their mind every day, trying to figure out life's journey.
And even the people that show up, they in spaces, they in classrooms. It's kids coming to school every day.
Yeah.
And man, they done been through it. They done been through it. Like I said, housing insecurity, you know, parents staying in the shelter, not sheltered. I think about Andre Lielis, who has shared and brought me into his home and had me look out the window and said, Michelle, it's a van that parked there. They usually pull up 5:30 before 6. And it's a van, mother, father, and their children. They sleep in the back behind our house. And then they get up and they leave in the morning. Look like everybody going to work and school. And by 5 or 6, they park back in this secure spot that's out the cut. I never forget Andre Leal sharing that with me. So I got to take a break, y'all.
Yeah, but I just want to say this.
Uh-huh.
I think the reason that I get so emotional is because I think if folks would just take a moment and say if it was my daughter, my grandchild, or yet when I was coming up, if that had to be the life that I had to live, I'm just grateful to God that I didn't have to go that route. But for there's somebody that's always got it worse than you. And to hear a story like that, and I actually looked out the window and saw you with that young lady, and I didn't know what you were doing. But as I said to Carolyn, Michelle always out there doing something. I didn't know what I was seeing. And again, it's just always remember, folks, as you're listening, it could have been you. It could have been me. It can always be worse than whatever you're going through right now. Now I'm through preaching. Let's raise that offering, Jermaine.
Yeah, Doc. Well, we gonna ask y'all to close the doors. Ushers, come on, take your rightful place as we take your rightful place. Amen. God bless you. We gonna ask the deacons to line up. Amen. Deacons line up to the left of me. All of the ushers and mothers to the right of me. God bless you. Choir members, we want it from you as well. Man, we are not leaving you out. God bless you. Get your love offering and get ready to sow into this ministry. God bless you.
I'll go to hell.
No, I'm for real. I'm starting off now.
We'll be right back.
to Say Something Real with your host, Michelle Bryant on WNOV.
All right, family, welcome back to the show. So I'm going to try to get in a couple of topics before 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, I got a guest coming in, and we will have an important conversation about the direction of this state. But let me go to the phone line first. Got a caller. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, Michelle.
Yes, sir.
Michelle.
Yes.
I'm telling you, that last guy on the end of your show yesterday, I mean, you lit in on him like a tornado. You should have named that topic, say something sharp. Baby, if you were Paris Hilton, you could have slit his throat from ear to ear. You lit in on him.
Y'all ain't gonna let me lay that down. I see. Okay.
Turn them off.
All right.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Y'all ain't gonna let that go.
Say something sharp.
All right. So a couple of quick things. I'm gonna run through just some topics, not probably deep discussion. I'm gonna circle back around over the week. But first of all, I gotta do sports for just a second. I had somebody ask me, my brother asked me, did you see the Colorado game? And I was like, no, I haven't, because I have been trying to say, I was going to watch college football, but I was like, nope, I didn't. And he said, the two quarterbacks that was playing for Deion Sanders, and they weren't able to really make nothing happen. And then Deion Sanders brought in the third string quarterback. So the two quarterbacks in front were brothers and African-American players. And then they couldn't make it happen. So then they ended up bringing in the third string quarterback, young white player. And he ends up, I guess, just showing out. Did you hear anything about this game or see it? You saw it. So I mean, my brother was just so out there because he was like, first of all, he probably won't be on the third string much, too long. But the other thing was the young player, it seems like, and I don't know where my brother got this information from, but this third string player had an opportunity to be around Shador, work with Shador, had picked up different things from Shador, but not saying that he's not a great athlete in his own right. And I heard that Deion was just kind of overwhelmed by it all. So, Jay, since you saw the game, what was your impression of it? Because now I'm gonna go back and try to watch that game.
He looked good. He was balling. Colorado couldn't move the ball, and so he went to the moving quarterback system, as they call it.
Okay.
Shuffle, using your quarterbacks 1, 2, and or 3, and but the young man did get off. He was moving the ball down the field. He looked poised. He looked confident.
So his name is Ryan Staub.
Yeah.
And the Buffaloes were playing Delaware. Colorado was playing Delaware. They end up winning the game 31-7. Yeah. And this young man, and this just happened on the 7th, he completed 7 of 10 passes for 157 yards, 2 touchdowns to help them get the victory. And this was after Caden Salter and Julian Lewis, couldn't generate consistent offense. They were having problems. And this dude came in off the bench and showed out. Yeah. So, and they just said Deion was so proud. He was so proud, so I want people to understand good coaches and good, hard work can bring that out of anybody. And for people that don't understand the value that, brothers can bring to a team and brothers can create in these athletic programs, a good coach is a good coach is a good coach is a good coach. So I'm proud of this young guy that did his thing. It's nothing like getting that opportunity and then you show up and show out. Yeah. So kudos to him, and I will have to definitely keep up. And then the other thing, while I'm on sports, what's the nickname they gave the lady? Baseball Karen, Phillies Karen. Yeah. The story that has gone viral on September 5th during a Philadelphia Phillies and Miami Marlins game down in Miami. A moment has gone viral. A baseball player hit a home run, and a father caught the ball and handed it to his son. Okay, his son's name is Lincoln. Daddy caught the ball, handed it to his son. But then came what people are calling Phillies Karen, who wrongly, she just behaved out of order. Her real name is Cheryl. They got her whole name out here, Cheryl Richardson Wagner, and she wrongly walked down, argued, and made the man give the ball to her. The video went crazy online. The next morning, the country was hot with this woman. Fans have now called her Phillies Karen. And, you literally see the video. And I looked at it. I was like, wait, because you see the dad clearly catch the ball. This lady don't have nothing to do with this ball. And give it to his son. And she looked a little bit like Elizabeth Warren, which made it even funnier to me.
Isn't that the one we were just watching? You was asking what the guy had on.
Yeah,
he didn't catch that ball. It hit her in the hand.
No. He had what happened was the player hit the ball. It went and it landed in the seats on the ground. So that lady was trying to catch it. It hit her in the hand. And she was trying to catch it. She missed it and it landed right in front. So that's when the dude went, because it was some seats in front of her.
Right.
So the dude went and picked it up off the ground and gave it to his son.
Right.
That's when she came and felt like she was entitled. But you didn't catch the ball. You missed the ball.
Right. I just wanted to clear up the fact that the father did not catch the ball.
No, he didn't catch it.
He went and picked it up.
Right.
Okay, well, in the article they said he caught it. So that's why
that's when remember when you were asking this morning, you was like, what does he have on?
Yeah.
But that wasn't the same dude.
No.
Yeah, they was just making fun of her.
No.
The dude with the guy that had his belly out. He was just making fun of
baseball team that was making fun. But they showed prior to that.
Okay, so I missed
the lady with the haircut.
That wasn't the actual.
So with the lady with the haircut, she was going for the ball. Everybody was going for the ball, but they missed and it hit the ground. So the guy was over there. He picked it up and walked back over to his son.
Right.
When he gave it to his son, she came over there arguing, talking about that was hers. So he didn't want to argue, gave it back to her. But that's when,
So now here's the description that Jermaine has provided. When he hit the home run ball, fell into the stands, and it bounced around the outfield seats, escaping the catch of many in the area as they grabbed for it. When a Phillies fan managed to pull it out of what they call a scrum and hoist it in the air in victory, the crowd erupted in cheers. They continued to share their joy as he walked back over to his family to hand it to his young son, Lincoln, who was celebrating his upcoming 10th birthday. The story just gets worse.
It's over.
Birthday ball.
The family was creating what seemed like the perfect memory at the ballpark. But the moment quickly soured when a woman clad in Phillies gear and now dubbed Phillies Karen approached, grabbed the father's arm, and demanded the ball. She insisted it was, quote, in her hands. Under duress, the father reluctantly retrieved the ball from his son's hands.
Oh no!
Because his son was from his son.
She would have never got that ball
and handed it over, much to the shock and dismay of onlookers.
But the whole good part about it, he might have lost that battle, but in the end, that kid won the war because he got the chance to meet the Phillies players.
Right.
They just showered him with all type of stuff, man.
Right.
That they gave him. And so they really spotlighted it. But for her to do that and it was caught on the Jumbotron, you acting a fool on the Jumbotron.
It is
national news.
National news. It's on CNN.
What you say her name was? They got the middle name, last
name. They got the whole thing. I'll say it again. And so, crazy, they said that the fans was so busy trying to find out who she was. They was misnaming her.
Yeah.
Other New Jersey women was like, hey, that ain't me. Stop it.
Ballpark Karen, she was on Facebook crying, saying she can't leave out her house now because everybody calling her Ballpark Karen.
But this is the thing. You show your behind and you act so abrasively and just out of order. And you see a child standing there and you still go follow through with this.
Not only that, but with that haircut that she got, she really standing out.
She looked like, I'm telling you, she looked like Elizabeth Warren to me.
She looked like she's supposed to be on videos going like this with her shoulders. Like.
Whatever. So the Marlins, to Jermaine's point, they gave the young 10-year-old a swag bag full of goodies, 2 tickets to a future World Series game.
Wow.
So 2 tickets to a future World Series game.
But that's if the Marlins, if the Marlins go, that's what I'm saying. Like, why you give me that? Y'all suck, man. Why? I don't want that.
Oh, so is that the stipulation?
I mean, that's what I was asking. Is it any World Series or is it them?
Okay, so we'll get to the bottom of it. But
if it's them, you gonna need a box of Snickers because you ain't going nowhere for a while.
Harrison Bader, the guy who actually hit the home run, personally met with the young man, gifted him a signed bat, a personalized gesture that restored joy to the birthday celebration. But this woman was out of order. And the dad, he said he intended to set a calm example and avoid escalation with the tough decision he said killed him, but one that ultimately led to even, better gift of.
So question, Shell, can we just do a little skit that if that was a black person,
you ain't gotta do it. You ain't gotta do it.
You ain't have to do that. Y'all already know how that works.
A white person.
Atlas is standing right there.
Right. There
and
we
Susie
go.
Blue walk over thinking she about to get that ball.
Oh my God.
I'll be all on the jump.
Dragging her to the
and I will stop because I know I'm being watched, so I'm gonna stop
and wave at the camera.
I said, so y'all see this, right?
So y'all ain't gonna come and get her?
Okay,
come get her.
I'm about to dust her up.
Oh, man.
Everybody see it, right? We in agreement.
Hey, I can see Shell too. I mean,
lady, I swear to God, I'm gonna give you 2 whole seconds to get from over here. But if you think I'm taking some out Atlas hands to get in your old dusty butt, no, that ain't about to happen.
No, you gonna hear "May the Lord watch" between me and thee.
And I would have looked at Atlas, and I would have been like, unlike Lincoln's daddy, here's the example your grandma said. You don't let nobody run over you. You don't let nobody take your stuff.
I know that's right.
Michelle Obama might be high, but we gonna get even. No, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. Let me go to the phone line. I just want to be clear. It may not be the best etiquette, but I wish I would have took a ball out my grandbaby's hand for this chick.
Man.
Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, good morning, Michelle. How are you?
I'm good. How are you this morning?
I'm doing fine. And good morning to everyone in the studio.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
So it would really be nice if when the caller is on hold, they could listen to the show. They could, continue to listen to the show.
Okay, I hear you.
Because
you miss a lot. I got you.
You're on hold. You miss a lot. You'll come in. You might be on a different subject.
Okay.
But my call this morning was we have a trio in the studio. Am I correct?
We have a what?
Trio.
3 people in the studio?
Yes.
Yes.
Three vocalists, right?
Well, Debo and Jermaine. I don't know. I don't know Clark scene.
No, Michelle, I'm talking about you. You could blow.
Oh, okay. Look.
You could blow. I mean, I got to give it to you. You know what I mean? I enjoy hearing you sing. Another person that could sing was Keon.
Keon could sing. He definitely could sing.
So.
Yes, sir.
So we have a trio in the studio every morning. It would be really nice if y'all put something together so we could just hear them beautiful voices. Thank you.
All right, thank you, bro. I appreciate the call.
And since he said that, I feel a song in my spirit right now.
Nobody asked you. He said a trio, not a solo.
I know, but I'm asking y'all to join in and find out the part. Hold on, this how it go. From behind, I can't love her from the front. I just love her from behind.
Really? You just messed up that moment with that inappropriate selection? See, that's what I'm like.
Inappropriate.
Just inappropriate.
Love her from behind.
Inappropriate.
Oh, okay.
Let me go to the phone line.
We need a meeting.
A serious request.
We need an intervention meeting.
Can we get a staff meeting, please?
I'm just saying, man. I felt this song in my spirit.
I just hate how you just messed
Can't
up.
love her from the front. I just love her from behind.
And look, if that's my granddaddy, because I know what my granddaddy would say, because I like to see her walking away.
That's it.
Ain't nothing but a
From
problem.
behind. From behind. Oh, Lord.
Go on.
Can't love
Keep
her from the
walking.
front.
They used to just say, "Oh Lord."
Yeah, I felt that thing. I just love her from behind. Oh, Jesus.
Thank you. We got another caller. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Good morning, Michelle. This
Hey.
is Angela.
Good morning, Angela. How you doing this morning?
I'm calling because I need to speak with Mr. Debo. Mr. Debo.
Uh-huh.
I had left you a message yesterday on your telephone because I'm doing some cleaning and I came across some real old LPs and albums, and I need to have
Sell them.
That's what I need help with. I don't know, because they go way back. They some that way back, and I need help with that because I don't know where to go, or I don't want to get played out of nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, just call me later. This wouldn't be the time.
Yeah, I know. That's why I just tried to call you yesterday, but you never returned my call. So
I was in meetings all day, but this wouldn't be the time.
Debo, call her back, please.
So,
Angela is calling you. When Angela called you, Debo, you answer the phone.
To hear somebody else get
sick. Thank you, Angela. Debo, when Angela call you, you answer the phone when she call you, brother. What's wrong with you, man?
Good.
I will return her call.
Thank you. Please return the call.
This wouldn't be the time.
Don't worry about that. You just return Angela's call. God dog it.
Why are you so aggressive?
I felt some kind of way. It's your
Why
turn.
you getting so aggressive?
It's your turn to get told off.
Why are you being so aggressive?
Because I got tired of getting told off, Angela. I just took your side and jumped on you for you.
I don't try. I'm not even going there with you, Mr. Ryder.
No,
I'm just on a whole nother. I got enough things going on within my health. I'm good. I'm confined to this home, so please don't make me go there because I'm just been in this house for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and I'm about to lose my mind.
Go there.
She's not going to go there. Angela,
No.
Debo is going to give you a call.
Call her,
okay?
Debo.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Take care,
This wouldn't be
guys.
the time.
Good day.
You too. Take
You
care.
better call Angela, Debo.
It was so funny.
I felt some kind of way. It's your turn to get told
It
off
was so funny.
in front of the people.
Oh, I appreciated that whole moment. All right, y'all. Let me turn my attention to something serious for a second. If y'all don't think elections have consequences and that all of these roles are important, what the Supreme Court did in their ruling about basically providing ICE agents the ability to racially profile residents of this country. More specifically, it was targeted at Southern California, because that's where the case the case is initiated. So we don't know how people apply this across the entire country, but the implications are that this is now the blueprint, that if you look Hispanic, Latino, if I hear you speaking Spanish, some version of that language, if you are in a job like lawn care or agriculture, you near Home Depot in the line looking to be a day laborer, that ICE can feel like they have unfettered access to roll up on you and to ask for your papers. Prove you are a citizen. Show us, that you belong in this country just by virtue of appearance. And I want to be clear. I have biracial friends and I have children, biracial children, but they are black and white. But if you look at them, you might think that they were Hispanic or Latino, but they're not Hispanic or Latino at all. They're black a mixture of black and white. But because of skin tone, because of the way their hair curl pattern is, they could easily be confused. So these young people, I'm thinking of one of my friend's daughters right now, could easily get hung up in ICE stopping her to ask her about who she is. So the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled sweeping immigration raids in LA can continue for now, lifting a federal judge's order that barred the agents from making stops without reasonable suspicion. This ruling, which was a 6-3 ruling, it went along, ideological lines, conservatives voting for it, the 3 liberal-leaning justices voting against it. The decision of the conservative majority court is going to allow agents to stop suspects. This is stopping people, but we're going to call them suspects based solely on their race, language, or job, while a legal challenge to the recent immigration sweeps in LA works its way through the courts. The liberal justices, obviously, like I said, dissented it, saying that this puts constitutional freedoms at risk. But Judge Kavanaugh, many of you have seen his comments on the news if you have been following any of this. He said that the lower court's order went too far, restricting how ICE agents could carry out stops or questioning of suspected unlawful migrants. First of all, I'm still trying to figure out why nobody is making these people uncover their faces. This looks like the Klan rolling up on people. And just like when you sit behind a keyboard on social media and you go after people and you say rude stuff and you criticize people and throw shots at people, it's easier to do because a lot of times you can do it anonymously. You can have other, things that obscure your real identity. And so it's easy to be bad and misbehave when nobody can figure out who you are. Why would anybody in law enforcement in America have their faces covered up? If that ain't some Klan nonsense with them damn sheets over their heads, I don't know what is. So Kavanaugh goes on to say, to be clear, apparent ethnicity alone cannot furnish reasonable suspicion. However, it can be a relevant factor when considered with other salient factors. But those other factors are racially profiling. You look Hispanic Latino. You may be speaking Spanish. You may be standing by Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, any of these hardware stores. You may be cutting somebody's grass. We use a lawn service and we can have different contractors come and cut the grass. And the last several companies that have come, private contractors, they've all been Hispanic Latino. So you out cutting grass, and because you clearly look Hispanic, nobody's talked to you yet, so I don't know if you speak Spanish or not, but you cutting grass, that alone can be a reason under what the Supreme Court has put in play for people to be able to stop you. The 3 justices, and one of which, Sonia Sotomayor, who is a Latino judge, she wrote that, quote, countless people in the LA area have been grabbed, thrown to the ground, and handcuffed simply because of their looks, their accents, and the fact that they make a living by doing manual labor. Today, the court needlessly subjects countless more to these exact same indignities. And that's the other thing. Van Jones was talking about this last night on Abby Phillips' show on CNN. Some of the ways that some of these ICE agents interact with people is so freaking disrespectful, so physically aggressive. They acting like I don't even want to say Rambo. They just acting like, like everybody needs to be treated hatefully and aggressively and without respect for the fact that these are human beings that you're engaging. And these people, in most of these cases, not violent criminals. But even in this country, we still have due process clauses about the way you handle people. And so what the Supreme Court did if you don't understand the significance and the importance of when we stay home from elections, when we decide not to participate, when we, and I'm going to say it, in some cases, we can do a protest vote. But when you start talking about in the moment when this stuff is really consequential, these justices are honestly, and I believe, and I should say, I honestly believe these justices are helping an agenda that continuously is stripping away rights that have been gained, misinterpreting the Constitution to align with ideological BS of the Trump administration. It's scandalous. Like, the laws are only as good as the people that have to enforce them. And if you got racist people sitting at the helm, don't tell me that justice is blind and that justice will work for people. When we see these when we see these racists come up, y'all, we have to participate. We are in this situation in great part because either people didn't participate, they did stuff with their vote that at the end of the day still allowed this to happen, or, they actually tried to look at the Trump administration and say, oh, I see myself represented over there. Things are going to be great. He's going to help the economy. As we're now being told this morning that a potential another 800,000 jobs may have to be recorded as a part of the jobs picture that were underreported that we lost in this crazy Trump economy. So the judge that had halted the raids, saying that you cannot rely on factors like apparent race or ethnicity, somebody speaking Spanish alone, to stop somebody. He also had barred them from conducting stops based on someone's location. So just because I'm standing outside of Home Depot, they felt like, or at a bus stop, they felt like they could say something to me. So me just being in the wrong place at the right time or wrong time, depending on how you looked at it, I agree with what the lower court said. So now the Supreme Court said that the administration's actions have a good chance of ultimately being considered constitutional by the federal courts. While its decision only pertained to that one judge's temporary restraining order, the justices have also now showed that the court would approach the lawsuit in a way that looks like they would support what Trump has been doing. So, of course, Trump's people are jumping up and down. The lawyers for Homeland Security arguing that they're not targeting people based on they're targeting people based on their legal status, not skin color, race, or ethnicity. Y'all telling the tale. Y'all straight up lying. Y'all straight up lying. So at this point, we are at a place where racial profiling de facto has been legalized in this country, specifically when it comes to people who look like they are of Hispanic or Latino descent. And for all my Hispanic and Latino brothers and sisters who like to align themselves with white folks, and, in some cases, like, they don't check the Hispanic Latino box. They check the white Hispanic Latino box because, they got two. They got Hispanic, non-white, Hispanic white, because it's Hispanic people that like to cozy up to, what they believe is the privileges that go with being identified as white. And I watched not all, but I watched a lot of these people during the election last year that were Hispanic Latino, some of whom had come into this country illegally, but had been able to go through the process and, get work visas or however it was done so that they could stay here. And you're not a threat. You're not a criminal. Just report in. Our immigration system is broken, so we can't get to you right away. And I listened to these people, and I've talked about it on the show. Talk about how they got in, but then they wanted to close the door to other Hispanic and Latino people that were trying to come across the border. But you came the same way. But now you bougie, you living well, you got your own little business, and now we shutting the door on other people. And oh, by the way, since I'm here, I'm riding more with the Republican white folks. That's gonna help keep the rest of y'all out. And now guess what? Hispanic Latino person who was, thumbing your nose and saying, oh yeah, I came in, but the rest of them don't need to come in. Now they coming for you too. Your husband, your grandchildren, your neighbors, your family members are not safe. You are not safe. What they say? When you dig a ditch for somebody else, dig too. Because the likelihood that you're going to get caught up in that same hole, and that's what's happening. That is exactly what's happening. So it does not matter if you're the Hispanic judge or the Hispanic, Republican leaning Chamber of Commerce owner, or Chamber of Commerce director, or if you did this or you did that, your behind gonna get caught up too. Because racism don't care about how you identify and what education you've attained and what, language you've mastered. And if you second, third generation removed from the people that came to this country, perhaps illegally, don't nobody care about that. You're going to get caught up and swept up in this too. I got a caller. Let me get them in. But let me just say, elections have consequences, y'all. And we still got 3 years to go with this madness. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
Mr. McMurtry here. How are you, dear?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. So, there's a couple of subjects. I know you got to get going. You got a guest coming. Our doctor, our superintendent of MPS.
Casilius?
I wanted to talk to you because I wanted to ask you. I know when she first got involved when this first precipitated in terms of getting her involved and going through the process of getting her in there, I know you had some serious reservations about her. And so I know that she was fortunate enough to recoup $33 million back to the budget in terms of what the state gave back. And so, but I know we're going to be facing another $100 million that's going to be in a couple of years. And she seems to kind of get on top of these things. I'm Team Michelle. So I was on board in terms of how your thoughts were and how the process you thought was kind of flawed or kind of fell apart in terms of how she became the superintendent. So let me just ask you real briefly, what is your, personal thoughts on her at this point in time?
All right. Thank you, bro. I'll take the call. And thank you for the call.
And one more quick thought I want to just, maybe you mentioned later, the posse comitatus law that's been in effect since, 1890 something. And it's been abused on regular basis in terms of how dictator Donald is doing the country. It's been abused, and as far as how these, military troops, being in the military myself, I know when the state went on strike, they sent us to prisons, which was a chaos. And they also sent us when the invasion, when they brought in 10,000, not Iranians, but Cubans, and put them up in Fort McCoy. We had to actually go up there and guard them. So there's a lot of, they were used for the right purpose then. Unfortunately, they're used for the right purpose now. And then when you read the 10th Amendment, the 10th Constitution's Amendment, the 10th Constitution, it shows clearly how he is abusing those troops coming into the various municipalities and local areas. So I'll let you go ahead and if you can briefly comment on maybe a couple of those, I appreciate that.
All right. Thank you, bro. I appreciate the call.
Okay.
So let me do this. Thank you. Let me do this. Jack, catch that. Because of the guests that I have, I definitely need to stay within the time constraints right now. So what I will do is I will circle back to the questions that the brother raised. and that's just because folks that I got in the studio, they here for one purpose, but they also got a job. So by now, many of you woke up to a bunch of B-roll of of
That's true.
the face of County Executive David Crowley rolling across your local news outlets, and you like, what David doing now? What park? I'm gonna take a break. What park is he in? And what housing insecurity has been addressed? And then you actually get to like, okay, turn the volume up and sit down with your coffee, and you like, oh, he announced he's running for governor. Oh. Now we got a different conversation. So first of all, let me just say good morning. Hey, Mr. Crowley,
good
how
morning,
you doing
good
this
morning. Hey, every day's a good day.
Look,
how
I
you
call
doing?
you county exec right now because we're here on some different business right now. Look, I gotta take a quick break, but y'all, I want y'all to stay tuned and listen to this conversation. This young man has now officially thrown his hat in the ring to run for governor of the state of Wisconsin. 39 years old. This is like some kind of history in the making kind of thing happening, but he stopped here.
First stop.
The announcement just drops, and he stops here at this radio station to talk to you. So I want y'all tuned in, ready to listen. I'll be right back.
Now, back to Say Something Real with your host, Michelle Bryant on WNOV.
All right, family, welcome back to the show. So before we went to the break, I let you know that my guest of the hour, the moment, is none other than the sitting county executive for Milwaukee County, David Crowley. This is a young brother that comes to the table. We've worked together in different capacities over the course of his career. I remember when you were working with Feingold, legislative staffer in Nakia Dodd's office. Ultimately, then you run for office yourself, become a member of the state legislature. And then I got a phone call. Say, hey, Michelle. Hey, DC, what's happening? Thinking about getting in the county executive race. I'm going, wait, what?
Yeah, I remember that.
And, it was not met with affirmation from me right away because, I raised concerns. When we start talking about what it took to manage Milwaukee County, a $4 billion budget, the demands of the county, different things we were going on, the financial status of the county. And I think some of it is, it's like, because I've been watching this cat grow up all along politically, but we are here. So, David, first of all, let me just tell you, tall respect for the fact that you made us, I don't know if we are the first stop, but one of the first stops.
This is the first stop.
Thank you so much for valuing this station, this community, these listeners, that you put us at this level in the process. And we have to hunt you down. So I appreciate that.
Well, but before you even go, it's important to always go home. And WNOV has always been home, not just as an elected official, but as a community organizer, as a son of this community. And so it was important for me to come on this radio show, your radio show, and let folks know that I'm running to be the next governor of the state of Wisconsin. It's a great opportunity that I'm taking advantage of. But I want folks to know that I am here because of folks like yourself, folks in this community who have held a high standard to make sure that we not only organize, but we're being real to who we are, never forgetting where our foundation is, and just making sure that we move this community forward by any means necessary. So I just want to say, thank you to you. Thank you to all the listeners, because of you, I am who I am.
All right, so let's talk about it real quick, because I don't know what kind of time we got. I know your day gonna be
crazy. It's gonna be a crazy day.
So, but let's talk about Debo smiling. Look at he's smiling at you, looking like, look at that boy. That literally was the look he had on his face, like when you walk in the barbershop and the whole brothers in the barbershop look at each other. There you go, there you go. Look at that boy. That's literally the look that Debo. He leaned back in that chair and. Look at him, look like new money with that suit and them glasses. That was, and I mean, and it's that moment. And we were talking about this during the break. If I could, before we get to the business of it, the personal side of it, that I saw in Debo's glance, that thing that we do when we are all out at the barbershop and the young cat went in, he getting his hair cut before he get ready to leave for college. Or the young sister. She get ready to go to prom and, or she just got accepted into medical school and the whole barbershop smile. We ain't had nothing to do with it, but we did. We poured in, we give her soda and some candy while she in here and watched her grow up. But this innate sense of pride about watching this moment you said was kind of.
It was emotional. This morning was emotional.
The press announcement drops.
And
the media going crazy.
Media's going crazy. Facebook, the video is up, and it got emotional. And I kind of broke down this morning talking to my wife, because the first thing I thought about was my mother. And my mother, through the trials and tribulations, she's no longer with us. She died, in July of 23, and all I could think about was the high expectations she had for me. And, she always set that bar about meeting the expectations, exceeding expectations. And so, I would have loved to be able to share this moment, this launch day with my mother. And I know that she's not here, but, I still have her with me, and that's going to be the fire. That's the fuel to my fire as I run this race. But it's always been the fuel to my fire, because she's been, a woman of integrity. She's always, believed in me and always pushed her sons to be better than what she was. And so this was definitely an emotional day. but it's also exciting.
And I just said that second where you got little girls looking up like, do we understand? My daddy's getting ready to try to run for governor and what that means. And I even teased, tell people your wife's name.
Erica.
She looks at you and says on that first date when you roll up or, you try to holler at her, like, do you see down the road to a moment like this? Or do I just realize that this is a good person who, is interested in making a change and a difference, and is somebody that has, integrity, and I believe whatever, wherever the journey takes us, we gonna be all right. We gonna go.
I mean, I knew I could. I knew that was my wife because when I ran for office, she helped pay my bills because I had to take a leave of absence, and so for her, we started off as let's just be friends, and working in being a leader, community leader, elected leader. You never know how people are going to take you or what kind of relationship you really have with that person. But my wife, she's always been there. And it's exciting that.
And that's why I wanted you to say her name.
Oh, man. Like Erica, I tell folks, this is my better 3/4. Okay. There's no way that I would be able to be the county executive, be the father, be the husband I am if it wasn't for what she's poured into me and the way that she holds me accountable every single day.
All right. So and even though we could do more on the familial side of it, the emotional side of it, let's talk business. You have decided to get into this race right now. The only other declared candidate, I believe, on the Democratic side of the aisle is the sitting Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez. Is that right?
And we have and Ryan, who's also beer vendor for American Family Field.
Okay.
So and I'm getting this race. I mean, one, I think it's important to acknowledge that Governor Evers, he's had a steady, calm strength, leading the state of Wisconsin through the pandemic, but also like protecting our democracy. And so for me, I'm getting into this race because we need some strong executive leadership, and we also need a fighter who's going to fight against the tyranny that we're seeing at the federal level. And so I spent 7 years in the state capitol, so I know exactly how Madison works, and I've gotten things done with this state legislature. For the past 5 years, though, I've been running the largest, most populated county in the state of Wisconsin, representing close to 1 million people, which is about 1/6 of the entire state's population. Right. And as you talked about earlier, I manage a $1.4 billion budget. And so, since 2020, I not only got Milwaukee County through the pandemic, but we've tackled some of our toughest issues: public safety, public health, fiscal recovery. We've invested in small businesses around the county. We've expanded affordable housing and made sure that housing was much more attainable. We've made government more accessible through our no wrong door model. We've put a climate action plan to reduce our carbon emissions, and we've already reduced it by half. And we've also delivered the largest property tax cut in Milwaukee County's history with the last budget. And so I'm the only candidate in this race that has legislative experience, but also experience running a government. And so I know that I'm going to be ready on day one to hit the ground running. And quite frankly, as Democrats, we don't have any time to waste. The stakes are too high. The Republicans, they already got, folks in this race organizing, raising dollars. And so it's time for us to get into this race, unify our base, bring more voters to the table, bring independence back, and really push a vision that's going to help all working Wisconsin families move forward.
To that point about experience, and anybody that listens to me, I care about what skills somebody brings into a job, what education, what combination of work experience that people bring. And I remember when the sitting lieutenant governor ran or made the announcement that she was running to be lieutenant governor, she had only been an elected official for 9 months. And that didn't sit well with me at all, because I'm like, you've barely had time to learn where the bathroom is in the Capitol. And now you're running to be the lieutenant governor of the state. God forbid something happened to Tony Evers. We literally would have been looking at a situation where somebody with very little legislative experience ends up being in charge. I know I think her background was nursing, but I just didn't appreciate that, because as somebody who has worked in the legislature off and on for, oh my God, I was trying to do the math on this other day, almost 19 years, coming in and out from, different political stuff. But people take for granted what it takes to be able to work across the aisle, to be able to actually deliver. I don't like folks that, your tenure is up, and I can't turn around and look at anything that got accomplished during that tenure. And I am just not trying to hear, because I was working in a hostile, partisan climate. So then that means your ability to work across the aisle and bring people to the table to get people to see things your way is not as good as it needs to be, because we got to still be able to make change.
Yes.
Even though somebody else might be in power. But you are in a unique situation with the new maps that have been created,
right?
New redistricting, that we actually have an opportunity, maybe flip the Senate, maybe come up with 5 seats in the assembly, where you could literally see a democratically controlled state legislature and executive residence.
Absolutely.
What do you think about that ability?
I think that's extremely important. And so when I talk about unifying the base, it's not just about getting myself elected, right? And I think that there's, room in this campaign for everybody, for all of us throughout the state of Wisconsin. And so we want to reach out to Democrats, independents, heck, I would even say Republicans, who quite honestly are upset about the tyranny, right? And I know there's a lot of frustration, federally about what is happening under the Trump administration, but also understand the frustration that people have with the Democratic Party nationally, not having a unified voice about how we need to respond. And so we need a vision, right? And it's not just about fighting against. What are we going to be fighting for? We as Democrats, we can't continue to talk about what was. We can't continue to try to defend the status quo. We need to focus on how do we build what's next? Because the Republicans, they have been the party of destruction. They've destroyed many of our public institutions. They've destroyed access to health care. They've rolled back the clocks on many rights. And they're also destroying the public's trust in government. And so this race is going to be about how do we unify to make sure that we can have that trifecta, taking over the state Senate, taking over the state assembly, and really pushing policies in place that's going to keep more money in working families' pockets.
But let me do this then, because you say, for me, one of the key things, in addition to experience, both, work experience, academic experience, but you say vision.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of times, and I worried about this when you came into the county executive's role, once you start working, is it just a continuation of what Chris Abley was doing? Is it just a continuation of what Evers is doing? But where is your vision? What is, because, and I'm not saying that like some of the things that are in play are not good things, because many of them are. But I always look for, so if you had this to do, and you say, okay, I like this and this, I'm going to take this, from these previous administrations, but then the vision that I have, or the things that I'd like to enhance, or some things that haven't been done that I'd like to bring to the table, and I'm not looking for specifics necessarily, but what do you see as your vision for the state of Wisconsin, and why people should be looking at you seriously as a candidate in this moment?
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of this goes to also, people asking the question, well, how can you work with other communities outside of Milwaukee County as well, right? And so, because everybody's always focused on the division, but my vision is not just continuing the great work that Governor Evers has done. I think it's important to recognize that he has done a lot to protect working families from Republican harm in this state. But this is also about more that we can do. Look, let's face it, all across Wisconsin, all across this country, there's an affordability crisis happening, right? Even if you are making more, you are getting less right now. And we need to figure out how to provide some relief for folks. And I know what it's like to struggle, right? I've been evicted 3 times before I graduated high school, moved so many times throughout my years, not knowing how we're going to pay bills, how we're going to put food on the table. So I understand that. And I know it's also so much that we can do also under the economic chaos and destruction that we're seeing under this Trump administration, but it doesn't mean that we can't fight back. It doesn't mean that we can't put policies in place that's going to help families, afford the things that they need every single day. And we do that by focusing on family sustaining jobs, union jobs, but also making sure that we fully fund our public school systems across every community in this state. That's how we make sure that our young people are ready for the opportunities that are available now, but also in the future. But none of those opportunities mean anything if families don't have access to affordable and attainable housing. And so we're going to be focusing on the issues that folks are talking about at the kitchen table every single day. We're not going to focus on the distractions that Trump and Republicans try to bring up to divide us as a community. We're going to focus on how we're going to allow the tide to rise so all the boats can rise in this state. And we're going to do that in partnership, because I'm looking to not just be the governor for Democrats, I'm looking to be the governor for all of us.
So when folks say, okay, David, that sounds good. But, people usually will make a judgment about your ability to do a future job based on what's been done in the previous role or current role. So when folks turn around and say, okay, but what's going on with Milwaukee County Transit? We got $10 million potentially in losses, unpaid fares, whatever those numbers end up being, so contracts that work may not have been closely monitored. We may be in trouble again in terms of a deficit, somewhere $40 million, $46 million. I think I had read, what do you say to people that are saying, but is the county tight? Before you make the move to go to the state, what kind of condition is the county in?
I want folks to know what we have done in Milwaukee County. With Act 12, in conjunction and working and building a coalition around the entire state, we were able to bring back more money from Madison for every community of every size across the entire state of Wisconsin.
Did we sell our soul to do it, though?
No, we didn't.
That was one of the concerns.
No,
a lot of people was watching the negotiations.
Look at Milwaukee County did not give up anything in order to get these deals done, right? And so that was a $3.2 billion reform in our pension system because of the pension scandal that happened in the 2000s, right? And so if without Act 12, we could, without Act 12, we'll be talking about $150 million deficit for Milwaukee County. But let's face it, the reason why Milwaukee is in this position, and it's not just a Milwaukee problem, this is facing every city, town, and village across the entire state, because the state of Wisconsin broke its promise. It broke its promise on how they were going to fund local units of government. So no one is getting its fair share back from Madison. It broke its promise on how we are going to give 2/3 funding towards our public schools. So now our public schools are suffering in the midst of this. And so we have to recognize that in all of this, this is really about making sure that we can all municipalities across the state are getting its fair share back to make sure that we can invest in things that matter. Counties are responsible for, state mandated services. Well, 80% of the tax levy in Milwaukee County goes to state mandated services. We're not seeing an increase in shared revenue. We're not seeing an increase in the types of aids that we need as it relates to transit, right? But we're also not seeing those increases coming from the federal government. These dollars don't go towards operating, they go towards capital projects. And as we move forward as it relates to operating or any other department, we have made the necessary adjustments to make sure that all of our services are continuing the way that they need to. And so when it comes down to MCTS, we are tackling this issue. This was something that we all learned on the fly, as well as the county board and myself. We knew that things were coming ahead because we were running out of our federal funding, after this year. And so the other thing folks need to also know is that, under my tenure was the only time in the past 25 years, Milwaukee County has also seen a surplus, right? And it's because of the work.
Because of ARPA, because of
that was actually
record money coming.
That was in part because of Act 12.
Okay.
That was because of Act 12.
All right. So then, and just because of time, so I will make this my final question. And I know my phone is going crazy. So obviously we're going to work to have you back in.
For sure.
When we got
I'll
more
be back.
time. But, if you had to say, like, possibly one of the biggest issues facing the state that maybe we don't have either, and I could say opportunity, but I think that's the easier thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if we are looking at the totality of our situation as a state, because we've always had the rainy day fund and surplus dollars, even though, how we use those is, questionable. But financially, the state has seemed like we are in a fairly decent situation. But are there things that you have on your radar that maybe constituents are not aware of, not paying attention to, that may be some big issue that the state has to tackle or could be facing in the future?
Well, one, I'm always going to go back to the affordability crisis, right? Because, rents, this is not just housing, right? Rent is going up, or your mortgages are going up, right? It costs more to buy milk, Costs more to buy eggs.
So just affordability
energy, utilities in general are going up, and so we have to focus on affordability. But focusing on affordability also means focusing on things like the social determinants of health, right? What are those things that people need to improve their quality of life, right? We need education. And so that's fully funding our public school systems. We need transportation. That's looking at how are we investing in public transit in all communities across this state. It's about how are we bringing not just affordable housing, right? Because we know that we need housing costs to, housing prices to come down, but there also is the issue of attainable housing, which means that there are people who make enough money, make more money than I do, who can't move into certain communities because there's no housing available. Right. And that's at all income levels. And so we need to tackle the housing issue from both sides of the aisle. But I also think it's important as a candidate to go across this state and listen. Folks want a governor who's going to listen not only to the issues, but who understands those issues. But more importantly, throughout this campaign, we're going to make sure that those who have been directly impacted, negatively impacted by the policies at both the state and federal level, to lend their voices to the solution, because there isn't a one size fits all when it comes down to finding solutions for different communities. But we want to make sure that we are bringing real solutions to every community across the state.
So two things. This came up. Debo was the first person to ask the question this morning. Does he have to give up his seat to run for governor?
I do not need to give up my seat to run for governor.
Second question. Given the current climate at the federal level, the ability to function in that way, we were all kind of waiting now to see what FEMA is going to do and why it's taking so long to get a response in terms of whether or not this emergency declaration is coming our way. Some people in the background, present company included, wondering how much of that is politically influenced. And so how do you see the state being impacted by what's happening at the federal level right now in terms of the current administration?
When I first became county executive, it was under the Trump's administration. People may have forgotten that, but so I've worked under 3 different presidential administrations, both of Trump's as well as Biden. But I've also gotten things done under a Republican-controlled legislature, and so I believe that I'm willing to go in and work with anybody to do what's right for our entire state, to move our state forward. Doesn't mean that I need to compromise on my values to get things done, which I won't do. But I am willing to work with the federal government as long as it's going to benefit every community in this state.
And I'll just say kudos on that, because, I was hot when the RNC came. You don't call me a liar and a thief and stealing elections and all this nonsense, and then want to party in my house. And like Michelle, we got to make the business case for this. There are things that constituents won't necessarily understand, but it requires us to think differently.
Absolutely.
So I just want to say this, just because of time, I'm gonna get out your way, but I don't know. Right now, they're talking about other names that may get into the race, whether it's Kel DeRoy's, Senator, possibly Attorney General Josh Call. Don't know if he'll get in or not. And maybe, even, people have Florida Mandela's name out there, Mandela Barnes, former lieutenant governor, not sure what that looks like. But I will say this. I have known you to be a hard worker and somebody that has been willing to listen and to learn. Willing to talk to anybody that would talk to you.
Yep.
And the one thing I know is that nobody is perfect. Nobody gets it right all the time. But when I keep showing up because I'm committed to the change, that has always stood out for me. So, let me just say, first of all, again, I appreciate you coming through here. This is an open format. Please let us know.
I'll be back
if there are things we need to have on our radar for people that want to know how to work on the campaign, because now it's time to get the work done. Just being cute ain't gonna get you elected. So what can the folks who want to support you, what do they need to do?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me on the show, and thank you for all the work that you do. But we're going to need everybody. This is going to be an all hands on deck opportunity for everybody getting involved in the campaign, whether you're lending your time, your talent, or your treasure to help us win this race. And so please visit our website, Crowley, CROWLEY 4FORWI.com, Crowley4WI.com, and you can get all the information, sign up to volunteer, make donations on that website. But please continue to keep in touch. Really excited about what's to come this next year.
And I just want to tell people, so it is not an oversight on my part that I did not mention race. Y'all know I wear my black on my sleeve. I did not mention race. And we know historically what it has looked like for people of color to win statewide election in Wisconsin. I've already heard from people that they are concerned. We're not going to lead with that, though.
Let me respond to that, though, because I think, in politics, 2 years can be a long time, but we did have a skinny kid with a funny name who won the state twice, and his name was Barack Obama.
At the same time, we elected a Governor Walker.
And exactly, right. And so we can't get caught up in the divisions that people try to throw out there, because they want us to doubt ourselves. They want to keep us divided because that's how people stay in power. But I'm a man of the people, and I'm looking to be the governor for all of us. And it's going to take all of us coming together to make sure that we can move this state forward.
And that's why I said I chose not to lead with that this morning, because the minute you start to debate it, and then people historically look at it, and it's been so hard to do, and the people will tell themselves no.
Yeah.
And so I just want people to understand that as long as you fighting, you got a fighting chance. And the history is out there, to your point, that when I was making calls for Barack Obama and they gave me northern Wisconsin as my call territory, and I was just like, no, I do not want to call these people. Oh no, I know what I'm getting ready to hear. And I was blown away by folks. My favorite quick story. I called a lady. I said, hello, may I speak to John Mosley? And she says, just a moment, let me get him. And she goes, it takes a second too. I'm like, dang, this taking a long time. He come to the phone. Hey, I said, hey, Mr. Mosley, it's Michelle Bryant calling from the Obama campaign. I said, we're just calling, check and see if you've thought about or made a decision about who you voting for. Whatever the little script said, I didn't say that. And he said, look here, young lady. He said, now I was out in the fields when you called. He said, and I trying to get the dinner that my wife got for me. He said, but where my money is, that's where my vote is. He's already gotten my money.
That's awesome.
That was the first phone call I did. When I tell you I was empowered, like, okay,
I guess make some more calls.
And even when I got, and I got more yeses than no's.
Yeah.
And so making assumptions about what you think people are going to do or who people are, we tell people don't make assumptions about us. We got to do the same thing.
Absolutely.
So D, I'm telling you, and then right now it's D. I am proud of you, young brother.
Thank you.
I've watched you make the county executive role your own, and and I've always been straight with you. I share my reservations. I don't have those reservations going into this right now because I understand the type of experience you now have under your belt. Yeah. So good luck to you.
Thank you.
Good luck to Erica and the children as you navigate this new space. You have to be tired.
Tired.
But energized at the same time because you're looking at doing something that's never been done.
That is right.
Congratulations to you, fam. It's a lot of people that's out here rooting for you, cheering for you. I'm going to look at I didn't want the text messages to interfere, so I'm going to look at them after you leave.
All right.
We'll talk about them like a dog after you walk out the station. We're not going to do that on the first go round. We'll beat them up later. But, bruh, thank you for valuing this station and for valuing our listeners. It's appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to everything that you do. And let's get to work.
All right. One more time. Where do they go to volunteer?
CrowleyforWI.com, or you can visit my Facebook page by just looking up my name, David Crowley.
All right, family. I'm going to take a quick break. We'll talk about him when he leaves the building. Be right back.
Thank you.
All right, family, welcome to the closing of the show. As y'all know, on Tuesday, I get out of here early. First of all, let me say thank you so much to County Executive David Crowley for stopping by the radio station following his announcement this morning that he is running for governor of the state of Wisconsin. Now, a lot of text messages came through, and I needed to get through that interview, but I will definitely address everything that people brought up. Has the RNC paid their bills yet? Some folks said I'm on the Crowley train. He needs to fight for the cuts in healthcare to Trump's bill. So we'll get to all of that, I promise you. But let me do this, because as I close out, remember we are working with Milwaukee Film Festival, who is doing their weekend-long tribute to filmmaker Michael Schultz, who Keith interviewed on yesterday, sponsored by the Brewers Community Foundation at the Oriental Theater. Remember, this is a brother locally, grew up on Vine Street in Milwaukee, graduated from Riverside High School and Marquette. He is the brother that did Car Wash, that did The Last Dragon, that did Cooley High in terms of a huge body of work. And we are giving away tickets to be able to see those movies, and 2 of those appearances, he will actually be present and doing a talk back after the films. If you want to win tickets, we need the next 3 callers to call the radio station. I am not going to bring you on the air just because of the time. You will simply be talking to Jermaine. He'll get your number and get you set up. You can choose from either The Last Dragon, Car Wash, or Cooley High. That first caller, second caller, your choices get narrowed down to 2. And the last caller, you will get whatever tickets that are still available. So please give Jermaine a call, and you can win those tickets. You can call us at 414-444-5250. 414-444-5250. A number of things that I did not cover today, and I knew I kind of wouldn't get a lot in because of the Crowley interview, but we have got to talk about the birthday card, the birthday book that Donald Trump was a part of. I'll be talking about that tomorrow. We have got to talk about the 14-year-old boy and what's the dates are up in Pulaski, Wisconsin, the town of Pulaski, in relationship to what, a lot of people believe are racially motivated beating. And then that there were local activists that went up to Pulaski, Tory Lowe over at The Truth. I took a minute to watch his broadcast from Pulaski. So I want to talk a little bit about that and, what it means for us to show up for folks that are in these situations. And so there are a number of issues that we need to cover, but today, community, we got to understand the historic nature of what has happened. And for folks that question whether or not David is able to pull this out, get this done, a lot of that will be contingent upon the types of help that he has, the folks that show up, and what that support looks like. So right now, there are 3 candidates in the race. I forgot about the guy who is a beer vendor. I think they sit out at Miller Park. And David can't say it. I can say it. The money that it takes to be in this race, the things that have to happen to be able to have that visibility and not a novelty. Yeah, that man is not a factor right now. Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez, we have not heard from her campaign since she announced. I've not heard from her campaign since she announced. And remember, she announced like right after Evers made us aware that he was not going to be running. I tell people all the time, I pay attention to how folks handle our community. So I will say again, I have not, I can't speak for the rest of the station, but I have not heard from Sarah Rodriguez's campaign since she announced. Just want to say that. All right, family, I'm gonna get out the way. Bros, I appreciate you. I will talk to everybody tomorrow. Peace.